Like and comment down below. I'm going to give you another copy of a Captain Carrot McFarlane Multiverse figurine. Yes, I really still do have some of these. And what we're going to talk about today is an interesting thing that happened when I went over my business records. Anyone who's self-employed, you have to look at your quarter versus the previous quarter versus the previous quarter. You have to change and adjust to whatever's going on in the market, whatever's going on in your life, whatever's going on in all your avenues. And we're doing a heavy emphasis today talking about slabbing. And I wanted to talk about a downside to slabbing that I don't know if anybody really talks about. So from a seller's perspective, I have to tell you that Q3 and Q4 of last year, so the end of 2023, were noticeably stronger than Q1 of this year, 2024. There's other factors in that. I had a lot of expenses related to starting the antique shop. I've also been buying a lot more collections without having enough time to sell them. So that can't be overlooked. I think that definitely is weighing on the profit for 2024 so far. But the big thing I noticed in my research came down to slabbing. Now, the main difference between 2023 and 2024 is how I submitted books to get graded, both with CBCS and CGC. And what I did in 2023 was a little bit different than what I do now. I basically submitted probably half the amount that I have been in 2024. I think one of the reasons for that is in 2024, CGC specifically went back to their old pricing from like 3-4 years ago. So of course I was like, bah, and just went nuts. Instead of selling them raw at a claim sale. Whereas in 2023, I was doing quicker turnover. I would get a collection in and I'd just be like, okay, cool. Let's put it to a claim sale or it's going to the antique shop. That was it. Now, I've been doing more submitting. My pressing and cleaning skills have gotten much better in more recent times, but also I've just gotten in really sharp books. So I've had a lot of great grades come back graded to me in this new year compared to last year. Again, a lot more graded books already in 2024 than probably the entirety of 2023. You'd think that would equate to you've made more money. Well, actually not so much. And what happened is when I crunched my numbers, I came to find that even though I had like a $30 raw book that, oh, look, if I could get a 9.8, it's $100. Even though I get it to that 9.8, at $100, it sits and sits and sits. So while I have all these great grades and slabs and things which are priced at the antique shop and on eBay for under fair market value, especially at the antique shop under fair market value, they still sit and sits and sits. It's great that you've got it, but it's unrealized potential. Until someone actually buys it, you didn't actually increase your money. More people can get X, Y, and Z raw for just the price of one slab. And I think most people prefer getting raws. This is not to start a whole blah, 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 slabs are stupid thing. I know I'm gonna see that comment down there. Just why don't you not and say you did? People love slabbing, people love buying slabs, let's leave that alone. But if you go down the selling route as a seller, especially when you've primarily dealt with only raw, it's interesting to see that you're really spinning your wheels. And well, that makes sense. I've been holding like half the books back and just getting them graded. And at the claim sales, I really do mainly only still sell raw. Obviously, on the other end of that, eBay is higher. I barely, honestly, sold slabs on eBay at all in 2023. It's great that I have all those sales, but on eBay, they take 20%. After you do the free shipping, it's about 20% just poof by. And I came to find it's kind of like I'm going in a circle where I'll get books graded, but only maybe half of them sell, and just buy half of them kind of sitting around for a while really kind of equates to the same. And so it's not really a loss or a gain, it's like kind of the same. But in business, if your quarter isn't as good as the previous quarter, that actually means you're not moving forward, you're not going with the forward momentum, you're not even meeting the rise of inflation. All this extra time put into cleaning, pressing precious hours of my life that turn those books into high grades really equates to the same amount of money as if I just do the quick turnover of get a collection in, yard sale, flea market, sell, yard sale, flea market, sell, yard sale, flea market, sell. Stop everything, don't sell them, play the long game, clean, press, and grade. Yes, months later, some of them will sell, but not all of them. And just those sitting kind of hurts you. I used to say, like, if it's at least like a $100 book in a 9.8, I'll throw it in a pre-screen. I'll see if it can get it. If it does, great. I lucked out. I'm kind of adjusting it to maybe say, don't go by the dollar figure, go by what you know is a solid mover. Unfortunately, I don't have as much fun submitting those extremely obvious books. I like submitting the underrated stuff. Underrated stuff is my jam. I've built a whole YouTube channel around praising and enjoying underrated. They sit about 3 times as long as a Spider-Man 1990 #1. They sit 3 times long as a Wolverine #1 first appearance of Patch. Twice as long, 3 times longer than a Batman 608. It's these super obvious and what I would have thought is common slabs, which is the ones that move. It's true. I think I do have to pivot back to my older system of let's just do the sales raw. Maybe to satisfy that own internal itch, I'll still do some submissions, but I don't think I'm going to be doing as much. It's so exciting with the lower prices, but the reality is there's so much time that goes into it. And now that I have actual proof that it really equates to the same, it's just definitely something to think about. There is a reason why people submit the same notable books over and over again, because those move, and the rest, you gotta find that guy for the piece. Even if you get the 9/8 white pages, which is great, you still gotta find a guy. It is unrealized money back in your pocket until someone actually buys it. When I did all this submitting, to be quite honest with you, I did, like I think many, assume that it was gonna mean more money in my pocket. And really it just means a loss of time and a little bit more money in your pocket. And maybe it was just better off just selling them all raw. But I will say that slabs at my antique shop are like 80% of what goes in there. So people want slabs. They do want them, and getting them in person, it's a wonderful feeling. So I do have to sort of keep doing some submitting for the antique shop. Every avenue is different. Claim sales tend to be more raw heavy, antique shop is more slab heavy, and on eBay, I actually only sell slabs on eBay. I don't even sell raws on eBay. So every avenue is different, but I am going to be making adjustments. So I thought I'd just share my research and findings with you guys. If you are a seller, let me know how you doing out there. It's not 2021 anymore now, is it? Man, I wish I was selling then. I'll see you all at the next video, and keep on hunting however you'd like.